Today, our topic is the Stoic Guide to Overcoming Anxiety. Anxiety is something that everyone feels at some point in life. It can come from work, relationships, money problems, or even the future. But the good news is that we can learn to manage it. The ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers practical tools to help us deal with anxiety and live a calmer, more peaceful life. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond. This idea is powerful because it shifts our focus from what we cannot change to what we can. Let's explore how Stoic principles can help us overcome anxiety. First, let's talk about what anxiety really is. Anxiety is often a fear of the unknown or a fear of things going wrong. It's a natural response to uncertainty, but when it becomes too much, it can take over our lives. The Stoics believe that much of our suffering comes from trying to control things that are outside our power. For example, we cannot control what other people think of us, or whether it will rain tomorrow, or if we will lose our job. But we can control how we prepare for these situations and how we react to them. The key is to focus on what is within our control and let go of the rest. One of the most important Stoic practices is called the dichotomy of control. This means dividing things into two categories, things we can control and things we cannot. For example, we cannot control the weather, but we can control whether we carry an umbrella. We cannot control traffic, but we can control how early we leave the house. By focusing on what we can control, we reduce the amount of energy we waste worrying about things we cannot change. This simple practice can help us feel more grounded and less anxious. Another Stoic tool for overcoming anxiety is the practice of negative visualization. This might sound strange, but it's a powerful way to prepare for life's challenges. Negative visualization means imagining the worst-case scenario and thinking about how we would handle it. For example, if you're worried about losing your job, imagine what you would do if it actually happened. Would you look for a new job? Would you cut back on expenses? By facing your fears in your mind, you realize that you are stronger than you think. This practice helps you build resilience and reduces the fear of the unknown. Stoicism also teaches us to accept the present moment. Anxiety often comes from worrying about the future or regretting the past. But the only moment we truly have is the present. The Stoics believe that by fully embracing the present, we can find peace. One way to do this is through mindfulness, which means paying attention to what is happening right now. For example, instead of worrying about a meeting tomorrow, focus on the task you are doing today. By staying present, you reduce the power of anxiety over your mind. Another important Stoic idea is to focus on virtue. The Stoics believe that the highest good is living a virtuous life. Virtues like courage, wisdom, justice, and self-discipline are within our control. When we focus on being virtuous, we feel a sense of purpose and fulfillment. This helps us rise above our fears and anxieties. For example, if you are anxious about speaking in public, focus on being courageous and doing your best. By shifting your focus to virtue, you turn anxiety into an opportunity for growth. The Stoics also remind us that life is short and unpredictable. This might sound negative, but it's actually a powerful reminder to live fully and not waste time on unnecessary worries. The Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This means that many of our fears never come true, but we still suffer from thinking about them. By remembering that life is fleeting, we can focus on what truly matters and let go of unnecessary anxieties. Another Stoic practice is to reflect on the impermanence of things. Everything in life changes, and nothing lasts forever. This includes both good and bad experiences. When we understand this, we can appreciate the good moments more and worry less about the bad ones. For example, if you're anxious about a difficult situation, remind yourself that it will not last forever. This perspective can help you stay calm and patient. Stoicism also teaches us to be grateful for what we have. Anxiety often comes from focusing on what we lack or what could go wrong. But when we take time to appreciate what we already have, we feel more content and less anxious. For example, instead of worrying about not having enough money, be grateful for the food on your table or the roof over your head. Gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, which helps reduce anxiety. Another Stoic principle is to view challenges as opportunities. The Stoics believe that obstacles are not just problems, they are chances to grow stronger and wiser. For example, if you're anxious about a difficult project at work, see it as a chance to learn new skills and prove your abilities. By changing your perspective, you turn anxiety into motivation. The Stoics also remind us to be kind to ourselves. Anxiety often comes from being too hard on ourselves or setting unrealistic expectations. The Stoics believed in self-compassion, which means treating yourself with the same kindness you would show to a friend. For example, if you make a mistake, don't beat yourself up. Instead, learn from it and move on. By being kind to yourself, you reduce the pressure that leads to anxiety. Finally, the Stoics encourage us to practice self-discipline. This means making choices that align with our values and goals, even when it's hard. For example, if you're anxious about your health, practice self-discipline by eating well and exercising regularly. By taking small, consistent actions, you build confidence and reduce anxiety. In conclusion, Stoicism offers a practical guide to overcoming anxiety. By focusing on what we can control, practicing negative visualization, accepting the present moment, and focusing on virtue, we can live a calmer and more fulfilling life. The Stoics remind us that life is short, challenges are opportunities, and gratitude is powerful. By applying these principles, we can transform anxiety into strength and find peace in the midst of uncertainty. So, the next time you feel anxious, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Focus on what you can control, embrace the present, and face your fears with courage. You have the power to overcome anxiety and live a life of purpose and peace.